What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Mancode 100. This is a show where we just keep it all the way live. We keep it real. We keep it 100, and we just have open conversations where we're being vulnerable, man. We are exposing, having dialogue about the essence of Mancode. What up, Ant? And so, I'm really I take pride in being able to engage in these type of conversations, with everybody, whether you are, no matter who you are. If you are a man, then you are qualified to be a guest on Mancode 100. If you are a man, I already know that you have some experience. I already know you have some trials. I already know you have some wisdom. I know you have been battle tested. I know that you have learned a lot of lessons. And I know that you have something that you can give to the next generation, which qualifies you to being a part of this Mancode 100 conversation. I was thinking the other day about what makes manhood so special. What makes it that thing that we cannot live without? It's important that we understand the power of conversation, the power of community, the power of living I am my brother's keeper, truly understanding what the man codes are, really understanding that there is a lifestyle we are supposed to live by. There is a code of ethics. There are rules of engagements that we are supposed to have as men. And those that are willing to have this conversation, you see it when father is able to have these type of conversations with his son. You see how his son is sharp. You see how his son is loved. You see how his son is, able to adjust. You see how his son is able to thrive in certain areas simply because it is the father's responsibility to pass on the knowledge, to pass on the lessons, to pass on the stumbles and the falls, so that the next generation, his son, won't have to go through some of those same. And then if the cycle is really what it's supposed to be, father gives it to son, son now gives it to his friends who now just passes it along. You see how it's working? You see how it's working? You see how it does not do us any good as a gender to hold information in. When I go through something, I'm supposed to tell you. When you hear something, you are supposed to tell me. For all of my men out here, I'm pretty sure you know of somebody who, a young man whose father isn't active. Well, in this case, Mancode says you are supposed to grab that young fella and pour into him. Whether you have a son of your own, you still are supposed to pass on the knowledge, pass on the wealth, pass on the stories. That's why I love when I can get in a room with my elders. They didn't get to be 60 and 70 years old just because they lived it, just because they just had a birthday year after year after year. Trust and believe, a lot of life lessons are in that 70-year-old. A lot of wisdom, a lot of troubleshooting. And so I love it when I can get in the room and just wisdom share. One of my mentors, I got to give him a shout out, Al Jackson. He called me one day and we went to dinner, we went to lunch, and we were just talking. And he was the first time I heard someone say wisdom share, because during that sit down, all I did was listened. I listened and I listened and I listened, writing mental notes, writing some things down on a pad, for real, writing things down, because I wanted to make sure that I was better getting up from the table than I was when I sat at the table. And that's what happens when you sit down and talk to your elders, or even when you just sit down and talk to a man that is willing to be open. That's the issue right there. Men, we internalize everything. So I'll never know what you go through because you won't talk about it. You'd rather cover it up in your Louis, in your Gucci, in your car, your watch, all of these things. You'd rather cover your real self up. I can't let my man see me falling or becoming faint. Nah, I can't let him see that, because if he see that, then he's going to judge me, and then I'm lesser than. We have to understand that the wealth and the treasure is sharing. The treasure is in the collective. As much as I get, you're supposed to have. As much as you get, I'm supposed to have. That's how the cycle continues. And if we do that effectively, our sons and their friends and the young men in the community, they'll start to see how we are acting. I was getting off the highway the other day, and one of the hustles now for young men has become, selling the waters as you're getting off the exits or at the intersections, right? And I'm in the car with my wife, and she's on the phone. And so, any other day, I don't know what was going on with me today on that particular day, but any other day, I'm the person, if I got some loose change in the car, which I keep a darn cup holder just full of change. And sometimes I'll just throw all of my dollar bills inside of the little center console thing. And this particular day, I don't know what was going on with me, but I wasn't in the mood of giving. I'll be honest. That's one thing about, that's a man code, being honest and being transparent. This particular day, I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't. And so as the young men approached, now, mind you, let me say this. Typically during this time of day, my son is in the car with me. And so I've always said, yo, if you have it, you give. It's not an option, you give. Somebody out here is less fortunate. You can't worry about what they do with it. After you give, you just do your part. So that's a staple in our house. We pull up somewhere, we're going to give. This particular day, I don't know what was going on with me. I just wasn't in the mood. So as the young men approached, first of all, they approached so aggressively that if you're not like confident in who you are, you could become scared, because it's not like they had a way to do it. They didn't have guidelines as to, okay, I got this car, then you get the next car, then you get the next car. It's almost as if they were in competition while they were out on the same corner. So every time a car would approach, they both would just, not both, but it was like four of them. They all would just run to the car. Now, that could scare somebody, especially if a woman is in the car by herself, maybe the door is unlocked. Man, that could scare somebody. And so as they all walked up to my car, I did this gesture right here. I was like, I had my hand on the steering wheel, and I'm just like, nah, we're good. We're good. And so 3 of the young men went ahead and passed me. But there was this one young fella who circled back. He was really aggressive. Come on, bro. You ain't gonna get in there, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. All I want, man, just give me a little something, man. Give me something. And again, I have to admit, that particular day, I was just on something. I'm entitled to have a day or two, but I was in my own little world, in my own mood or whatever. And so I said again, nah, I'm good. We good. Then he got a little aggressive. Oh man, come on, man, you ain't gonna give me $1, man. You ain't gonna help your bro out. Da, da, da. So now, my wife is sitting next to me, and my wife is like, oh, I know he ain't trying to get mad because you're not giving him any money. Then he went on, he took it up another notch and started cursing at me, dropping the F-bombs. F you, Negro. Da, 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 da. You ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't that. Like looking through the tint of my window, like really trying to penetrate the glass and, just say some stuff. Man, you ain't this, you da 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 da. Then he went in his pocket and pulled out a wad of ones and was like flashing, yeah, I got money, Negro. Yeah. I don't need your money. You ain't this, you ain't that, da 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 da. And so my wife was like, who is he talking to? And he heard my wife say, who is he talking to? And so he screamed in the car, I ain't even talking to you. Mind your business. By this time, the light is turning green and I'm having to pull off. When I pulled off, immediately I was angered. I will be honest with you. I was angered. But then I thought to myself, I said, you know what? This is the result of somebody not instilling in this young man the way to do things, the way to talk to people, the way to approach people, and even the way to accept no. Because if you're out on the corner, you have to know that every car that pulls up to the red light is not going to give. And so in your mind, before you even go out there, you should have the understanding that I'm going to win some and I'm going to lose some. But if I win more than I lose, then, it's a good day. I'll be back out here tomorrow and I'm back on my grind. Right? This is why, as men, we have to have the type of conversations that we are engaging in Mancode 100. Because as effective as we do our job, it's going to prepare the next generation for them to be more sound, more solid. And that just threw me. But immediately, instead of me operating in my anger and frustration, say what you want to say to me. I don't have any issue with that. I have self-control. I know how to contain myself. But the moment he started barking at Charlinda, I was like, okay, bro, now you're taking it too far. Now you're going from a teenager, and now I'm going to have to deal with you as a man. Which I didn't want to do that because at the same time, that's like my little brother. Like, that's somebody that I need to be making sure is in the best place possible. I said all of that to say we have to do more we have to engage in more conversations because we have to make sure that this next generation are well prepared. So that was my story. I want to do something a little different today. Instead of me just saying that I was going to bring on a special guest, I wanted to bring somebody in that's watching, a man that's watching who isn't afraid to have real conversation, man to man, although we are on live IG, but yeah, so any guy that is willing and wants to come in and have a conversation with me and be the guest for today's Mancode 100, just send me a request. Whoever sends it in first, that's who I'm going to tap in. It's like wrestling. Let me try to tap in real quick. What's going on, Doc?
What up, my guy?
Man, I can't call it, man. How are you?
I'm blessed, bro.
I love it, man. Where you calling from?
I'm in the A with you, man.
Oh, okay.
Me and my wife did your born again shirts. We modeled for them back in a couple years.
That's right. What up? Hey, Gwen Niles. What's up, baby girl? Prayers to you and the whole fam. Man, what's going on, man? Good to see you again, man.
Same here, man. But no, I appreciate the way you handled yourself too. You could have, as black men, we can easily take it there, especially when our queens are involved. So I felt that same incident. I actually had a similar instance like that before, and I pretty much handled myself the same way. But the difference when we weren't in the car, we were actually, out to where he couldn't physically did something.
Right.
But I gave him that look like,
You know, man, we talk about, first of all, it's already it's already an uphill battle just being a man.
A black man.
You feel me? And it's so many different things that are coming at us left and right. The last thing we need, bro, is to have confrontations amongst each other. And so this is why the work that we do here on Mancode, my men's organization, Brothers United of Atlanta, and so many other male organizations, man, because we have to do the work. You know, it breaks my heart to see that the first outlet for our young men is violence. When you think about all of the stuff we had to endure, one of my guys on our Brothers United prayer call talked about the other day that black men walk around with 400 years of generational trauma that we still have not unpacked.
You know what? I'm actually from Detroit, so I know what it is to come from nothing, and I feel like right now, as I get older, I'll be 28 in July.
Mm-hmm.
As I continue to grow and get older, I'm learning how to be more grounded. You know what I mean? I'm also an actor too, so during this COVID-19, I'm able to be more grounded, more level, and get to myself before I can act like anybody else or do anything else that I want to do in my life. So I feel like when it comes to other black men, I'm always trying to uplift us because a lot of people don't uplift us enough. You know, we go through so much every single day, like you said, whether it's like, you know, doing our chores or, you know, doing our responsibilities as husbands. And as for you, a dad, I'm not a dad yet, but I can only imagine once I become a dad, the responsibility that's going to have on me. And how much, you know, we have targeted, we are literally targeted by people. And I'm also 6'6", so when I walk in the street, I'm just, you know, I was talking to my other the other day, it's like I'm already intimidated, you know? People already are intimidated by me just because I work out, I'm tall. So I have to handle myself more gently so that they don't get offended by me calling the cops, you know what I mean? And then we got another situation like we did with our brother Armand, you know? So I feel like we have to keep pointing to each other, man. I love what you're doing as well. I actually do want to get involved because I come from the same background as those gentlemen, like my man that was outside your car. I come from that background. I could have went that route, but I chose my true destiny. I chose to go to school, find my purpose, live my life the best that I can do, so that I don't become that, and that I can reach back and bring those people up. Because I'm not successful unless I help somebody else, especially us black men.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just spoke. You said that you are 28 years old. I'm 43 years old, and you know, to be having this conversation the way that we're having the conversation is really a perfect example of how it is supposed to happen. You know, you're 28. I'm in my 40s. My son is 15. You know, my summer camp is full of children that are 9 to 16. My mentoring program, you know, being able to have the conversations to share, even if it's just to listen, you know, even if it's just to listen to, you know, like a lot of times I will allow my son to just talk it through, Q, talk it through. And I'm there to listen to him. I'm there to be the training wheels just in case he leaned too far to the left or leaned too far to the right. That'll make him fall over. But that's what we are supposed to be like. That's a man code. We are supposed to be those training wheels for our brother. And I don't look at I don't define my brother as, you know, same age bracket, come from the same. I look at brotherhood gender based. Gender based is we're all men, and because we're all men, that qualifies you to being talked about as my brother. And so when I say being my brother's keeper, that extends way beyond grown men. It's teenagers and it's the young men as well, because what we pour into them is the beginning stages of how they're going to grow. And we all know if you plant something wrong, it starts growing slanted. You've already handicapped it from reaching its full potential because the seed was planted wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And the key word that you said right there is listen. That's all I heard. As I listened to you, I heard listen, and that's the main thing that we have to do as well. Because a lot of these men that act out this way is because they're not heard, so they have to act out. They just use their emotions to just go. You know what I mean? And that's a very valuable piece. Like you have to have, you have to give your son his own voice. Because if he's living through you, he's just gonna do what he think that you want him to do, but not what he wants to do. And once he get older, he's going to envy you. You know what I mean? For saying that he should do stuff that he didn't necessarily want to do. You know, and the fact that I know that I don't have kids yet is a beautiful thing. I'm grateful to God that He even instilled that into me. Because I definitely, like I said, I'm 6'6", so my son will be hooping easily. You know what I mean? But I do want him to have his own voice, his own name to do whatever he want to do, whatever he feel like he should do. And that's why I also bring up another topic about Dwayne Wade. How do you feel about his son and whatever he did with that?
Anytime you give birth to a child, there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. You came from me, and so my responsibility to you is to love you, to be there for you, to provide for you, and to be the overall protector, nurturer, lover of you as my child. Now, if you happen to grow up and go a different route that I don't necessarily believe in or I don't necessarily condone, at the end of the day, it still doesn't take away from the fact that I gave life to you. And because of that, I'm going to always be held to the role and the responsibility of parent, right? I may not like it. We can talk about, your decisions, but at the end of the day, you said it just a few minutes ago. Your children have to have the opportunity, man, to live out their true self. And whatever that happens to be, my responsibility, man, is to love you through it, to love you while it's happening, before, after, whatever it is the case. And so specifically talking about Dwayne Wade, I don't understand a lot of people who say is anything different than what I'm saying. You can't disown your child. You're not going to just throw them at the back door. You're not going to forget about them. You can't do that. You have to meet them where they are, and you have to love them in spite of, man, because guess what? They're going to love you in spite of. And to be real with you, as parents, as fathers, we don't always make the right decisions. And a lot of our decisions has affected our children and our family. So the time that I didn't make the best decision, what if my son came to me and said, yo, Pops, I don't fool with you no more because you chose left when you should have went right? No, I'm still dad. And tomorrow he gonna love me anyway. She gonna love me anyway. And so that's how I feel about parents.
Those children, man. I speak from me just because I was raised by a single mom. I didn't have my dad growing up, so that's one thing that carried on to with me in my everyday process. I've been blessed to be able to learn from mistakes instead of follow them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of parents needs to have that same mindset and go about that a certain way, because like you said, it does carry over to your adult age, and it's PTSD, it's trauma, it's stuff that the Black community don't talk about as prominently as we should, because it's real. Like, I'm thinking about doing therapy, and when it comes I'm thinking about doing therapy, mainly because of that, because of my childhood, and then B, just me just trying kind of be a better person overall, just to get things off my chest, so that it don't bother me moving forward. And I can just get all that hatred out my heart that may have carried on from my past. So a lot of people don't think about that. They think therapy is a bad thing, especially the black community and the black men. We're not supposed to be emotional. We're supposed to be the rock of our families, especially when it comes to us as husbands. So I think that we should definitely think about that more often and actually seek out help instead of avoiding it.
I think every black man should see a therapist, and it doesn't mean that you have an issue, but it means you have an issue. Some of the issues you haven't even identified yet. So I do believe every black man should see a therapist, whether you do it publicly or you do it privately. You may have somebody that is a therapist that you can just, call directly and have conversations. But I believe every black man should see a therapist sooner or later, and sooner rather than later, so that it won't run your life or disrupt your life when it's during those times where you're supposed to be the leader and everybody is looking at you. But Kirk, man, dude, thank you, man, for coming in, man. I'm gonna get one more person in, man. Dude, thank you for supporting Born Again, man. You and your bride, man. Tell her I said what's up. Connect with me, man, on the side, man. Send me a DM of your number so that I can make sure you're connected to Brothers United and that you stay connected to me and we stay connected together.
I will. I'll talk to Dora and the Whitleys overall. I'll talk to them very often. So we'll definitely be in touch, brother. I'm a DM you right now.
My dude, love you, man. Be good.
Love you too, boss.
All right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I love that. Again, thank you to Curtis, man, for coming in. One more guy that's watching today, send a request so that I can have some conversation with you. But a lot of I like what Curtis said, and that's coming from a 28-year-old. A lot of times men don't reach that level of maturity until mid-30s. A lot of times it takes men a while. I mean, I'm honest. It took me 36 to really, have a panoramic view of life. Let's get somebody else in here. Oh, Doc.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Man, I'm well. How about you?
I'm good.
Man, tell everybody your name, man, where you from, a little bit about yourself real quick.
My name is Ryan, and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm getting to what you are doing, actually, which is providing services for young men, boys and young men of color, specifically those who are fatherless.
Why is that important to you? Why is that necessary?
It is necessary because of what I've been through.
Okay.
Like the guy who was on before me, I did not know my father. I haven't seen him. I haven't met him. And so therefore I grew up with a bunch of different issues, behaviorally, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. I grew up with a bunch of issues, and therefore I want to be an example, as I am in therapy myself, right? And be an example to show them that you can overcome, and just about knowing your self-worth, knowing your values, knowing who you are spiritually, and just being transformational in all areas of your life.
It's very important, and I say this all the time. It's like a repeat record, a record on repeat. The importance of breaking the cycle. Whether you have a little brother of your own, siblings, it doesn't matter. I look at all of the next generation as our little brothers. What's up, Marcy? I look at every young man that is younger than me. I take them on from the mindset of that's my little brother. And as my older brother did for me, gave me everything that he had. I mean, every ounce of wisdom, taught me everything. So the foundation of me is from my father as well as my older brother. And what my father did for my older brother, who did for me, I do for my son. Now I pass it on into my younger brothers of the community. And so what you are talking about, Ron, is so powerful. Imagine if every man took on the responsibility of nurturing a young man. That's why I love organizations like Big Brother, Big Sister, the YMCA, all of these organizations who are trying to pair young men with older young men for guidance. So what you're doing, man, I commend you on what you're doing out in the Vegas area. If I'm ever there, man, I would love to connect with you, just to, partner with you on what you're doing. But man, I think it's awesome that you are using something that is traumatic for you to prevent it from happening to a young man in the next generation.
Yes, I think it's very important to really address those issues, because we can't lose any more men, especially black men and boys. We can't lose any more men to depression and suicide, and we can't lose any more men to the streets. We can't lose any more men thinking they because of their in professions that they cannot be involved in church,
Mm-hmm.
and that they will be shut out. We can't lose any more men in any kind of way. So it's very important for me to stand up, saying no matter who you are, no matter what your sexuality may be, no matter what your past may be, no matter where you come from, you still are valuable to someone, to the world, to, if you are a believer, you're valuable to God. You are still of value, and you still have a purpose to serve.
Listen, that is what's up. I appreciate you having that type of mindset. And, whenever I see a brother of mine doing great work, you are one of the men that I don't have to worry about, because obviously for you to get to a place where you are willing to pass on the knowledge and pass on the guidance and the support, you've identified with who you are, how you can make the next generation better, man, and just even advancing yourself, because when we give and when we serve, we're making ourselves better, whether we know it or not, man. So Ron, I thank you, man. Keep doing the work that you are doing in Vegas. Stay connected to me. Like I said, whenever I'm there, I'm going to definitely reach out to you, man. Send me a DM so that we can connect.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
No problem, Ron. Take care, man. Man, that's what's up, y'all. That's what's up, man. Man, can somebody pin Mancode 100 down here? I can never get the pinning thing right. So if somebody wouldn't mind doing that for me, that would be like so dope. But it's just awesome to know that there are people all around the world who are doing the work. Tay, what up? Man, that's my girl there. So it's amazing that there are so many people willing to do the work. And as I said to Ron, whenever I can become aware of somebody doing the work, it's not an if, it's not a maybe, but it is my responsibility to make sure that I give this guy the support that he needs. And so if you know anything about me, I'm not one to just say some stuff. I'm one who loves to put on the hard hat. I love to get out here and do the work. If you've ever seen anything of what we do in Atlanta, whether it's Brothers United of Atlanta, Sisters United, Couples United, Youth United, the summer camp, what we do for the senior citizens, all of these things are because we have heart to serve. We have hearts to give. My wife and I, it is always lovely. D Hall, what up, my guy? Man, I love you, man. Thank you for inspiring me, bro. Thank you for inspiring me, bro. I'm going to say it again. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for paving the way. Because of your group, man, you guys got the baton from the groups before you, and then you guys got the baton, man, and you passed it on, man, and you set a standard for your little brothers to come after y'all, man. And so for what you guys did, you and your brother and Teddy, that paved the way, even made the way a little bit more wide. Like you guys broadened the street a little wider, so that when 112 and the Jagged Edge and the Next and Drew Hill and our generation of R&B groups came along, the street wasn't as narrow as it was when you guys came in. So I'd imagine if you go back to the Four Tops and the Temptations, their street was probably like this. And then, you guys got it and kind of open it up a little bit more. And then Boyz II Men and Jodeci got it and they open it up a little bit more. And then here comes 112 and Jagged. And so now we're operating in a much wider street simply because of the work that you and your brother and Teddy did, man. So, dude, you know how I feel about you, man. I love you, man, to the moon and back. I love you, man. I'm going to let one more guy get in here, man, so we can just kind of talk about some more things, Mancode 100. Before we end today's session, you're going to have to come and give me some minutes. Bro, you just tell me when. You tell me when, man. Come in real quick so you can talk about the truth lives. Come in real quick. Y'all talking about a real one? This Damien Hall is a real one. Real one. When I say real, I say real one. If you can, man, come in for a second. Just want to holler at you real quick. With so much going on, it's important that we let our heroes, that we let the people that inspired us, we let them know how we truly feel about them. With the passing of, the great Andre Harrell, Little Richard, it's so many deaths have happened in 2020 that I'm just kind of over 2020 in that regard. But it just shows me that tomorrow is not promised. So, I look at that on a lot of different levels. When Andre Harrell, when I got the news of Andre Harrell's passing, I immediately got on the phone and I called Puffy. I immediately got on the phone and I text Courtney and Kevin, all of these guys who really inspired me, because you will know that, your worth and how valuable you are. Because I can't afford to let anything happen to any more of my people without them knowing how I feel about them. And especially that's man to man. That's man to man. So that means a whole lot more than just randomly telling somebody, how you feel about them. Like, this is another man who needs the affirmation from his fellow brother, man. Damien, what's up, Doc?
What up, Q? Man, it's good to see you, brother. Now, I want to tell you this, man. I was working out, so I had to throw a hat on. And, you know how we do, man. We
Yeah.
try to make sure we stay on point.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you, man, for the love, man, and that you shown. But most importantly, man, what you do for your community, brother, what you do for men like us, for the women, man, what you do for married couples, man. I've seen it. You, Ron, you know what I'm saying, and everybody just joining together, man, and coming together to really spread that truth, man, and upbuild our community, brother. Like, it's different than just being an artist and being a great artist and a great singer. But when you become a philanthropist and a humanitarian, and you really want to take your next level to the next, your love for people to the next level, blah, you're doing a great job, man. And I thank you. And it's an honor to be your friend. A lot of us in this business that people don't understand, a lot of us say we friends, but a lot of people are not friends. We associates. You know what I'm saying? It's like we know each other. We're trying to give love to each other. But a lot of people on my segments, when I do, it's called The Truth with Damien Hall, right? And I started it because a lot of people, as we know, we kind of show who we are, who people perceive us as being, and we never want to be truly who we truly are to ourselves.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to show that. So when you come on my platform, you got to be truthful, because it's raw. It's how you really feel about your wife, your kids, about the business, about your group members, about society, about the president, about whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you feel?
I love it. I love it, man. That is so consistent with, you said the truth. We got Mancode 100. When see, this is why the word collective is so important, man, because when you're doing the work that you're doing over here, he's doing the work that he's doing over here, I'm doing the work that I'm doing down here. Imagine at some point, D, you know, all of this stuff, it just fuses together because, go ahead.
No, I was saying to you, it has to come together.
Because, man, we are magnetically connected. And so it's almost like we do more work trying to stay separate. But if we just allow the process to really do what it's supposed to do, man, men are supposed to be like this. We are the foundation, man. We are the cement that things are built upon. And so the more we unite and the more that we are collective, man, that shows the growth. That's how the communities grow. That's how our families grow. So, bro, what you're doing, man, not only your contribution to music, man, you are a legend, bro. And if you don't hear it, man, I'm telling you, thank you. I want you to see it in my eyes, man. Thank you, man. Tell your brother I said I love him, man. I see Teddy a lot of times, man. But D, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. I love you. And you keep doing what you're doing. And whenever you want me on, you just send me a text and I'm there.
All right, I got you, man.
I'm there.
Man, God bless the audience, man. And we'll be speaking soon, all right? You stay strong. Keep that family strong.
My dude, keep working out. I got something for you next time I see you, though.
I hope so.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Love you too, man. Dang, see, that's what's up, y'all. That is what's up, man. Brotherhood. It don't look a certain way. It don't supposed to walk a certain way. It is just what it is. As y'all saw, it wasn't no guessing. I ain't trying to peek down the phone to see what kind of shoes he got on. I ain't trying to ask him how many weights he lifting today. Nah, all I can do is show up and just offer my support. And you have no idea, man, what that little compliment or what that little thing can do. So imagine if me and Damien having this conversation. I was just on the phone with Wingo the other day. I was on the phone with this guy the other day. Yo, I'm going to say it again. Men are magnetically designed to be this way. There's a thing in us that makes us gravitate to each other. And I'm not talking about on nothing but brotherhood. So for you thinking that I'm talking about anything else, I'm not. I'm talking about brotherhood. I'm talking about affirming. I'm talking about confirming. I'm talking about supporting. I'm talking about loving. Because who better understands us than us? And don't take this the wrong way, women. There's nothing a woman can say to me about me that should really be coming from one of my guys. Well, if I'm falling short in an area, a woman should be the first person that tells me that. I am my brother's keeper, right? I am my brother's keeper, right? So if I am my brother's keeper, you've seen me out at the club wilding out. You've seen me talking crazy to this person over here. You've seen me do some bad business practices. You've seen me not make, great investments. Men, we see each other all the time operating below the bar. And we just be like, we'll say, all right, man, nah, that's just Q, man. Shoot, that's just Steve. No, but that's not good enough. That can't be just Q. That can't be just Steve. No. It has to be, that's my brother. And because that's my brother, let me go over here. Now, that thing goes two ways. If I'm going to pull your coattail, you got to be receptive of your coattail being pulled. I'm going to say that again. If I'm going to prepare myself to pull your coattail, then you have to be in a position to where you can be okay with your coattail being pulled. So when your brother come up, hey, yo, bro, you wilding out. Don't give him resistance. We got time for one more. Somebody send me a request real quick. Man, that D Hall, man. That dude, man, I love that dude, man. For real, for real. All right, send me one more request. We got about 10 more minutes. I see my women on here. They're loving this conversation, and this is another reason why this man to man dialogue is good, because it keeps the women from trying to guess what we're dealing with. Jarard, come in real quick, man. Come in real quick, Jarard. It keeps our women from guessing. It keeps them from guessing. I want our women to understand us to a T, and I want us to understand them to a T. This is why this is not an option. This is mandatory. Jarard J, what's up, my guy? Man, I can't call it, man. We just on here, dude, engaging in this real conversation, man to man, dude. Memphitz, what's up, Doc? Yeah, man. Memph, call me, man. My number's still the same. I need to talk to you. Call me. But Jarard, you and I just recently, man, were talking about actually this right here, on another platform, dude. And one conversation let me know that you and I, we saw eye to eye. We saw eye to eye when it comes to the responsibility of men, the role that we play in our community, the role that we play in our homes. Why for you, Jarard, man? What is it about brotherhood, man, that makes you so committed to it?
I think it's the idea that none of us can do it by ourselves, and that I think it's the idea that each of our brothers has a different set of ideologies that can help propel us. You know what I mean? And you run into a lot of people who feel like they can do it all, especially men, because we walk with that bravado so tough. You know what I mean? Especially in the conditions that we're in now, especially as black men, right? And so I think that you limit yourself with the amount of strength that you have access to when you do that. You know, so like when you can have fruitful conversations with another brother who shares similar ambitions as you, who shares similar ideologies as you, it just makes you that much bigger, faster, and stronger.
Wow. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. You know, I've seen you do so many things in the community. I've seen you commit yourself, your relationships, your network, just for the advancement of your brothers, Jarard, man. And that's really, really what it takes. I don't want to dive too much into our dialogue, because I'm going to have you back on, man, for a whole full Mancode session next week. So when we get off, man, I'm going to call you once I get off so we can schedule the time for us to really do our whole, dive all the way in. All right. I love you, man. I appreciate you. All right, you too. Man, see, Cash just checking in, man. Memphitz, come in real quick. Come in quick. Come in real quick, man. Don't say you got to go put a hat on or whatever, man. Just come. This is Mancode 100. We upholding the man codes of lifestyle, and we keeping it 100. I got about 8 minutes, man, before I get off. Send me a request. Man, this is good. This is good. This is good. So imagine if men all over this world, imagine y'all, imagine if men all over this world were having real conversations. Do y'all understand that there are some men right now pump faking each other? There are some men right now lying to each other. There are some men right now putting on for each other simply because I can't let you see me vulnerable. I can't let you see that you have more than I do. I can't let you see that you can go to the restaurant. You can actually afford to pay for everybody's meal, whereas I can only pay for my own meal. All of these things, man, like, instead of us really being what we are created to be, like I said to Damien, like we do the work. We do the work to be separate. Memph, hit shucks, man. Somebody show this man how to request to come in. I think you just have to like go out. How you add him? Oh, I think, hey, yeah, right here. Nope, that ain't it. Okay, here we go. I'm about to trip you out, man. My guy. What's up, Doc? Myth, I'm about to go. I'm about to take you back for a second. You know we all been on this whole brotherhood stuff for a while. Do you remember? There it is, man. Tell me, Myth, man, like why brotherhood is like I'm always saying that it's not an option, man. Like it's a responsibility of ours. Like I'm supposed to help you out. I'm supposed to listen to you. I'm supposed to give you the cheat sheet. Why is that important?
Because it's like, like when you learn something, I feel like it's your duty to pass it on, especially to your brothers. Because it's like different races, I feel like we come with different codes, and not that we not all one people. I don't go black, white, like that, but it's like we all one people, but at the same time, each race has our own code. We got to help each other based on our situation. And I feel like we don't trust each other no more. You know what I'm saying? That's what like I just feel like once we start trusting each other again, I feel like we'll be how we supposed to be. But the question for me is, how do I learn? I want to trust my brother, but how do I learn to trust him again with my life?
Mm-hmm. The very first week I did Mancode 100, man, I had my professor, my psychologist, and my therapist on, and we were just talking about trying to unpack all of this PTSD that we come with. I didn't know, man, and I just learned it. I just learned it. Oh yeah, yeah. Cause listen, bro, listen. I just realized, man. You funny. I just realized, man, that the trauma and stress travels through semen. And so, yeah. And so all of these years, I'm talking about like, bro, we got 400 years, man, of trauma that's really can be diagnosed as PTSD that is traveling through these generations, man. So when you talk about not being able to trust, that's why I say it's important for us all to go to somebody's counseling. We need to sit in somebody's chair, man, because and that Dr. Baz right there just chimed in. That's my guy, man. He was on just dropping the knowledge, man. But every black man, I said earlier, every black man needs to go through some therapy, man, because whether you know it or not, you're walking around traumatic. Yes.
From the time you hit the dirt, from the time you born, you affected by how your life is going.
So, man,
As a black person, you know what I'm saying?
that's why, man, I love what you're doing, man. I love how you have, and man, I want to get you back on, man, for the full session so you can tell, so you can talk about your story, man, being from Memphis, man, coming from where you come from, but then being able to achieve so much, man, but not only as an individual, man, but you brought some of your homies with you, man, and that right there is a man code. If I get it, then I'm supposed to pass it on.
Exactly. Get that door open right quick.
Man, so dude, man, I love you, man. I appreciate you just checking in. Like I said,
I saw you on my live, man. I'm like, whoa, kid, what up, kid?
dude, text me, man. Text me, so because I don't know if you changed your number.
I'm back in New York, so I never changed my number though, so I'll text you right now.
Text me right now, man. I love you, man.
You're looking good, so you stay good, man. I need to hear you singing some again too, baby. Don't try to get away from the mic.
It ain't look never. I'm never gonna do that. Never. All right, boy. Man, that is what's up, man. It's always good to, man. It feels so good to have great energy out in the atmosphere. To where people can just see your name and automatically, want to engage in conversation. I didn't call these guys. I didn't say anything. But I take pride in, what the name is, the reputation, all of that, because you will know me as somebody who is leading or participating in the mission of advancing this mission of brotherhood. Dr. Baz, I want to have you come on again just to specifically talk about the trauma, the PTSD that as black men we deal with, y'all. We have 400 years of trauma. And every time something happened, there are triggers, right, that has caused us to deal with each other the way that we deal with each other. So we're going to dive into that next week. Baz, once a month, you and I are doing this Mancode 100. And what I would love for you to do, Baz, is put together like a 6-week program or something, man, that's going to help us unpack all of these things, man, because I do believe that there's a way that we can get to a point where we're operating at optimum level, but we got to be willing to do the work, bro. We got to be willing to do the work. So y'all, listen, that's our time. I thank y'all, man. Today has been absolutely amazing. Swagger P, next on Thursday, we're going to come in. And I think I may do this once a month also, instead of having, you know, the guests that I have already have scheduled. Just leave it open for anybody that's on to come on and have some conversation with us. Man, I love y'all. I love y'all. Tay, send me a text. Marcy, send me a text. Lavelle, send me a text. Bass, next week. And then once a month. All right, y'all. Be great. To all my men out there, guys, learn and connect with these man codes. There is a way that we are supposed to live our lives. So once you identify them, uphold the code, guys, and always keep it 100. All right. I love y'all. Y'all be great on this day. All right. Peace.